parts of the country are liable to flooding from rivers or from the sea, and it's important to know this before you put in a planning application, because if you're in a certain zone, a flood zone, then you need to submit a flood risk assessment, or if your application has been refused and you're appealing, flooding has been raised as an issue, then you also need to deal with that at the appeal stage. The way to find this out is through the government's online portal, which is at floodmapforplanning.service.gov.uk, and it's a simple screen here where you just fill in the postcode or the location. We'll use the example they give here. And then it comes up with a map showing with a marker. You can just check that that's okay. If it's not, you can click move marker, because of course it's just done by a postcode, and if you need to move it around you can. We'll leave it where it is. Dark blue is flood zone 3, light is flood zone 2, and 1 is just clear. It's 2 and 3 where you're going to need to have a flood risk assessment, but the easiest way to find out is just to scroll down and then click on here, and it gives you a summary report which you can download as a PDF, and it summarises that you're in flood zone 2, medium probability of flooding, and you have to carry out a flood risk assessment. Now, this guidance is from the government about flood risk assessments, which says it's needed for certain planning applications. And if we just scroll down to this information, this confirms that in flood zones 2 and 3, development, which includes minor development and change of use, requires a flood risk assessment. If you're in flood zone 1, you don't, unless it's over a certain size, 1 hectare with the land, or there is other issues of surface water drainage. That's something which you can ask from the council or from the Environment Agency. A flood risk assessment can be quite a complicated document depending on the type of application you're making. Sometimes, though, it can be fairly straightforward. If you found out that your site is within an area liable to flood, then it's best to seek advice from a flood risk consultant